All right, we're at the Central Bank in
Hey, how we
Missouri.
doing? Pretty good. What we doing?
If you don't mind me asking, is your body cam on?
It is.
Okay. Why do you have your gloves on?
I always wear my gloves.
Okay.
Why you have a mask on?
Do I not have the right to have a mask?
Absolutely, but what are you doing filming the bank?
Exactly what it seems like.
For what?
Is there not a First Amendment?
There is a First Amendment, but you've got people concerned, so I'm just
Thank you,
asking what
Davey.
you're doing.
Appreciate your
So my
support.
right to record as people concerned. So you enforce feelings?
No, I'm just asking what you're doing.
Why don't you enforce the law?
Get your hands out of your pockets.
Okay.
It's
pretty cold, so
I understand.
I don't have gloves like you. So
You want some?
no, I'm good.
Okay.
I like to have my hands in.
You got any ID on you?
Why would I need that?
I'm just wanting to find out who you are. You got a mask on. I can't see your face.
Exactly. We're in public.
You are. But you need to vacate in front of the bank.
And where am I at?
You're in Lake Ozark, Missouri.
Am I not on the public easement?
You are.
So why do I need to vacate the public sidewalk?
Because you've got people nervous and they want to know what you're
Are
doing.
you giving me a lawful?
Okay. Yeah, here we go. It's the classic. You're making people nervous. You have to leave a public place. That's not how it works, guys. Joanna says, if this is an attempted audit, it's clumsy so far. I don't like auditing banks, but it's not illegal. I don't think he's doing that bad so far. ID is like crack for them, says Laura Delgado. Yeah, it really is. Kung Fu Grip says, don't you need to be detained to control hands? Yeah. But granted, that came off as more of a request, even though he just said it. He didn't like make a lawful command to do it. You know, he wasn't. And it is a good idea. Like these kind of furtive movements, like even if you think that they're just doing this to assert control over you, just show them your hands. That's not worth fighting for. And you're not surrendering some liberty by keeping your hands out of your pockets. My mod said that the documents are all redacted, so we will take a look at them.
I am giving you a lawful order. You need to move the area.
Let me ask you this.
Young man, I'm not going to play this game with you.
You waive your qualified immunity.
I'm not going to play this game with you.
You waive your qualified immunity.
You need to step. You need to get stepping.
You waive your qualified immunity.
You need to get the
Oh
stepping.
yeah, okay. Thomas said, can we take bets on how this one's going to go? I don't know. So far, this guy seems like he's doing pretty well. Maybe they can resolve this equitably and fairly. I'm optimistic that can happen based on what we've seen so far. But I mean, you never know with this kind of stuff.
You pull out your sergeant.
You guys let me know what you think.
I don't have to get my sergeant.
Get Sergeant Meyer.
I don't have to do that.
Get Sergeant Meyer. I'm asking you to get a sergeant here. You don't know the law.
Yeah, I know the law.
You're a dangerous man.
29 years I've been doing
You
it.
got your gloves on. You're ready to put your hands on me.
I'm not going to put my hands on you. My hands are on my vest.
You gave me an unlawful order to vacate when I'm on a public sidewalk.
You are on a public sidewalk.
So why would I need to leave?
I'm giving you a lawful order that you need to vacate in front of the area. Young man, I'm not. Yeah, you're free to go.
I'm free to stay.
Oh, got him. Although that is a cliche, it's true. And he got him with that one-liner. If he's free to go, he's free to stay. That's how it works.
You need to vacate the area.
I'm not vacating.
Yeah, you are.
Nope.
Then you go with me then.
So you're gonna put your hands on?
Oh.
Yeah, turn around.
I asked you to put. I asked you to get Sergeant Meyer.
I'm not going to put. I'm not getting Sergeant Meyer. I've asked you to move.
I asked you to get Sergeant Meyer.
I've asked you to move.
I asked you to get Sergeant Meyer. You're gonna don't. You gonna hey? He threw my phone down on
I
the
sure
ground,
did.
guys. He threw my
I sure
phone on
did.
the ground,
Wow.
guys.
Good. Yeah, good.
Threw my phone on the ground,
I
guys.
sure did.
Why'd you do that? Can you get my phone, sir? I'm asking you, do you not want to get Sergeant Meyer out here?
No.
Why
I'll
not?
take you to him.
Why not?
Even better, huh?
You're gonna unlawfully arrest me.
I'm not arresting you. I'm just detaining you.
Okay, for what crime?
Oh, he
For
sure.
what crime? For what crime?
They love to fall back on that. Like they're like, I'm gonna arrest you, and they put you in handcuffs and all that, and then they're like, oh wait, no, you're just detained. It certainly seemed to me like he was about to arrest him, and that was the intention of putting the handcuffs on him.
Don't turn my phone on. Don't turn my phone on. That is my First Amendment to record. Do not turn my phone on. Do not turn my phone on. Do not.
It hasn't been recording since your phone was up.
Okay.
So how do I turn it off?
He turned my phone on.
How did I turn your phone off?
You threw it on the ground.
The screen won't stay on.
Exactly. You threw my phone on the ground.
Up here, okay?
That's fine. I'm asking you to get Sergeant Meyer out here. You're making a mistake.
What's your name?
I'm not telling you my name.
Well, you're failing to identify yourself, so that's why you're
what
getting your
crime
car
have I
pulled.
committed?
You're failing to identify
What is
yourself.
your reasonable articulable suspicion I committed a crime? What is your reasonable articulable suspicion?
Because you were failing to identify
What
yourself.
crime I...
Oh, he slammed that door in his face.
708 Miller, I got one detained.
And you're just cool with this guy. This is another problem. He thinks that's normal. That's cool. We just arrest people for standing on sidewalks. It'd be interesting to look at what the 911 call said about this.
Is this the same guy we dealt with? No.
708, 702. He'll never answer his radio.
Let me call him. Good.
Hey, can you come to Central Bank and see if you can identify this subject? He's been asking for you for the last 5 minutes.
BioSpark says, that reminds me that one video you did about the kid who bought the stolen motorcycle. And it was wild because the other cop was like, yeah, I wouldn't have done that if I were you. Yeah. That video was really good. And I don't know if you guys have seen it because it's been a long time since I've made that episode. But I highly recommend it. It was, the cop actually did the right thing and had some humility about his actions and exercised what I would like to consider really good professional discretion.
Light out that I cited.
Yeah.
So I know his name, I just can't think of it right now.
We gave him an awful order to move out in front of the bank. He's got people nervous.
That wasn't a lawful order.
And he's failing to identify himself, so there's no reason.
You had no reason to identify him. Let's get to the action.
Oh, I don't care. Yeah, if you'll give his name. I'm only asking once.
Oh, we had both body camera angles. Why didn't he swap?
And he refused a lawful order by giving me his name and moving down the road.
Okay, I think we got the sergeant getting here now.
Now, he's been screaming and hollering for you anyway. Says he knows you. That's what he said. He won't take his mask down. He won't tell me who he is.
Is your body cam on?
It is.
Sergeant Meyer, what am I doing in
You know his?
I'm familiar with him. I don't remember your name right off my head, but...
What am I doing in cuffs?
Well, he detained you for his investigation.
He couldn't tell me what crime I committed.
You failed to comply with a lawful order. I done told you.
What crime
I
have
told
I
you
committed?
to get moving, and I told you to identify yourself.
What crime have I committed?
I just told you.
Before you were here on the scene, what crime have I committed?
None. Until
Okay,
you,
so why do I have to ID myself?
because I gave you a lawful order to do so, because I'm
Oh man, this
investigating on
cop
why
is
you're standing out
really
here.
clueless, isn't he? He's just clueless about how this works. What he's saying is, what crime did you have to force me to identify to you? And he's saying, I asked you to identify, that's the crime. But no, that's not how that works. Just don't even entertain this if you find yourself in a situation like this. Just don't even entertain this kind of conversation. This is the point where you want to invoke your right to remain silent for sure, especially when you're in custody. They have you in handcuffs.
You cannot articulate what crime I committed.
all right.
All right, let me get the...
He can't articulate what crime I committed.
Once you tell me who you are, you're going.
That is the... I can figure his name out.
Because what he was doing, he was standing here. He wasn't breaking any laws by being on the sidewalk.
Oh, he just...
And I asked him, I said, hey,
you hear that? He just said it plain and clear. Let's go back.
what he was doing, he was standing here. He wasn't breaking any laws by being on the sidewalk.
He wasn't breaking any laws by being on the sidewalk, but I still think I have the authority to demand to see his ID.
And I asked him, I said, hey, you've got people in here nervous. Would you mind stepping down the road for me? He goes, am I on a public easement? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, why is your fucking gloves on? I said, I wear them all the time when I deal with people. And he goes, well, I ain't fucking moving. I said, I'm giving you an order to get to stepping and identify yourself and pull your mask down. Fuck you, I ain't gonna do that either. I said, okay, if you're not gonna identify yourself, you're going back in my car until you identify yourself.
I don't think that he cursed a single time. I don't think I heard the guy he put in handcuffs curse a single time. Wado totally mischaracterized what happened. That's ridiculous. And even if he had said that shit, even if he said, fuck you, I'm not moving, that's totally protected speech. It wouldn't have changed anything about the officer's authority to be able to make him move. So this is just nonsense right here.
But he wasn't breaking any laws. He's allowed to film all day long.
So you can decide.
Did they ever tell him to leave or anything? Or was he ever on?
They're saying he was on the grass. Wolf's double checking, because if he was on this portion of the grass, that's technically theirs. That portion's not. Like I said, when I got here, he was standing on the sidewalk filming, which he's allowed.
If he was on the grass, that could change things a little bit. You know, we talked about this in the last stream about there being the forum analysis changes depending on who owns the property you're standing on. But of course, if the people in the bank had a problem with this guy filming the bank, which obviously they did, they went through the trouble of calling the cops, then I imagine that they probably would just say whatever they needed to say to get the cops out there, you know, because I can imagine a dispatcher being like, yeah, 911, what's your emergency? And them saying, well, someone's filming on the sidewalk outside of our bank. And they'll be like, well, that's not illegal unless they've come on your property. And they're like, oh, well, he did. And they just want the cops to come out there and do something about it. If he was on the grass, it's still open to the public. They could ask him to leave, but it wouldn't be illegal until he refused to leave. Very valid point. Yeah, I think that's a good way to encapsulate what I was trying to say, but better. Like, even if he was on the grass, like, just issue a trespass notice and then go tell them, look, he can be on the sidewalk, and then you're done. You're out of here. Why as a cop are you taking on all this extra unnecessary work and then going out of your way to disparage this guy's character for no reason?
What to do? But he says he knows you.
Well, he's done some video requests before. I know I can get his name. I know that. We have him in a report or two. I just can't think of it right off my head.
Wolf did a traffic stop on him here a while back.
Yeah.
But he's trying to find his name and he can't find it.
Man, they're obsessed with who this
Of course
guy
he
is.
wants.
Just let people be private.
Once he tells me his name, he's free to go.
I've got his name. As long if there's no crime from on their end. Then
Okay. I'll wait for Wolf to come back and then.
we probably need to want to know if they're going to want to trespass him from here.
But I'm not going to play the game coming back every 20 minutes either.
Well, if he ain't on their property, then he's not trespassing.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying.
I mean on their end before we kick him.
This officer has lied to me in your face, and he is on body cam and on footage. I did not curse at that man. I did not curse at him at all.
Yeah, he's saying he didn't
He
curse
said,
at
I
him.
said, fuck you, and I did not curse at him at all. He's wrong.
That might just be a figure. I always talk like
Sir,
that.
I did not curse at you.
I always talk like that.
But
But,
you-
regardless,
but
I
if
gave
you-
you it.
if
I'm not
you
going to.
translate-
We're not.
Yeah, no, you don't just get to backpedal on the whole talking shit about this guy. He heard it, bro. Now, why don't you own up to it?
We're going to overtalk each other.
If you're translating
We're not
to
going to overtalk over each other.
Let me talk to him.
translating to the sergeant.
You just got told to fuck off by his sergeant.
I did not say that. I said.
Let's find out if the bank is going to want to trespass him.
They don't want him trespassed or anything.
They
And
don't.
what did they call?
I don't know. They said that they had customers coming in and coming through the drive-through, coming in, coming on the call lines, saying that they felt unsafe and that he
Yeah, he didn't break any laws because he was on the sidewalk.
Right. And saying that
Admitted it so
he was
many
pointing at
times.
them, harassing them, and just doing all sorts of things, just basically pointing at camera and pointing at them.
Oh, okay.
So he hasn't done anything aside from not identifying.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay.
But
Well, as soon as Meyer gets done, I'll cut him loose and we'll just play the game. Every 20 minutes, we'll be back dealing with him.
Or how about you just don't take the call? You know, if they're going to call every 20 minutes, just tell them, hey, we know he's fine. Bye. You don't have to keep coming here, dude.
I'm just saying to that my name. But now I'm being sarcastic because
We're making sure there's no criminal offense that was committed
That's exactly
before
right,
we got
Midas.
here at the bank.
And there wasn't, so
They called us.
But he put me in cuffs
That's a
because I
detainment.
was not moving.
That's a detainment. He had an investigation to do
I'm
here at the
telling you,
bank.
y'all messed up.
Wow,
Y'all
they're
messed
really
up
trying to
extremely
put together a
bad.
narrative on
always
the
say that to us.
on the spot.
I've not always said it to you. I've only had one interaction with you.
But every time we've dealt with you, it's always us.
It is, yo. Officer Clayton Wolf does not know the law. He asked me where I get my law book from. I said I don't have to identify myself if I'm a passenger in the vehicle. He tried to fabricate probable cause by saying I didn't have my seatbelt on when I in fact did on camera.
Okay,
So
but look.
he couldn't get my ID and identify me, so he doesn't know my name. Now you don't know my name because you don't remember the public record request that I submitted.
I just don't remember right off the top of my
He
head.
doesn't know my name because I never gave my name and or ID because I have not committed a crime.
Okay, and that may be the case.
Okay, so why am I still in cuffs?
Because we are still
Exactly,
investigating
bro.
of this.
No, you're not.
We were called here for this.
Okay, so how long am I going to sit back here?
I'm going to talk to him. He went in to talk to them, and then we're going to figure this out. Give me another minute.
Is his body cam on?
Yes, it is.
Don't mute yours, and don't mute
See the recording on there?
Tell him.
You don't have to show him that shit.
Is there a
Welcome, bro,
crime
guys.
here?
Good to have you here.
Are they wanting
They
trespass?
don't want trespass. They got nothing.
Okay. How about?
Yeah, I'm telling you, you messed up. Put your hands on me like that, and I'm on a public easement and broke no law. Couldn't articulate any kind of law that I've broken, and you put me in handcuffs.
Yep, I sure did.
And you messed my shoulder up, so I need medical attention.
Well, you're going to be free to go.
No, I need medical attention because you done messed my.
Mike says, shouldn't this thing be over now? It should have been over like 20 minutes ago. It shouldn't have even started. Electric says, we need to crack down on people abusing 911 and train dispatchers better on screening these screening these calls. I totally agree with that. I think that dispatching is one of the major bottlenecks of police interactions. And I'm surprised that a company like Axon hasn't created some technology to make that chain of communication more effective, because there's a lot of context that gets lost from the person who calls, then the dispatcher who takes the call, then that dispatcher relaying that information to the officer, and then the officers on scene relaying that information to each other, because they all get partial, bits of the context, and then they later come together to form a bigger narrative from that. But that is the most inefficient way to do that. It would be great if there was some kind of AI software that could take out snippets of the 911 call in real time and provide that audio to the officers so they could hear directly from the complainant exactly what's going on. Because this whole playing phone, like the phone call game that we used to play in elementary school as a legitimate chain of communication between government officials, is kind of ridiculous and inefficient, and it creates shit like this, like what you're seeing right here.
My shoulder up. Look how he's handling me.
Just let him get the cuffs on.
I'm relaxing. Look how he's handling me.
Once he gets the cuffs on,
No, I need medical attention. I can't even feel my hand.
Call for a medical.
I can't even feel my hand, bro.
Okay, well, he's calling for EMS.
Damn, bro.
You're free to go.
But I can't even feel my hand. I need.
Here you go. Here's your shit.
Welcome,
I need an
Pink Fifth.
ambulance, man.
He's calling for one. It's right there.
What am I doing wrong? You put me on their property now. I have not stepped on their property at all.
You're free to go.
But I've always been free to go, and I was free to stay.
You wasn't. You were detained until he could
But
investigate
what
they were.
crime have I committed?
That's why he was investigating.
What crime have I committed? Though?
That's what he was
Okay,
investigating.
let me just say, don't ask what crime have I committed, because they can still detain you without having knowledge of a specific crime. And a better question might be, what crime did you suspect me of committing? And there's a reason that there's a preface to that, is because the suspicion is what matters. The crime itself can change depending on, what they find out throughout the course of their investigation. But whether or not they have the precipice to detain you is what you should contest, especially in a situation like this.
Once he went in and talked to him, and they said there was no crime, you're free to go. You're out of cuffs. You can go.
But what's your
okay.
badge number name? What's your badge number name?
I'm not doing this with you. That is Officer Winker, 708.
So why don't you get in medical system? We're not the right.
We're not medical.
You're not the right report.
We're not medical.
So y'all not the right report.
That's up to him.
You're not the right report.
There's no report to be done. There's no crime committed. I did. I have the right to do that. I can detain you, but I'm done talking to you.
Do you want to ride to the fire station?
I need to see something. Someone needs to see my shoulder.
If you want to ride, I'll give you a ride.
I need someone to see my shoulder on the scene.
I'm offering you a ride, right? To go right there.
Welcome, one man in Japan. Good to see you here again, brother.
702, Harris to be giving the subject a ride to the...
Donald says, now look who doesn't want to identify. Yeah, that's funny. All right, well, let's check out these documents. They are redacted. Here we go. We got an official narrative. Bear with me. This is handwritten, so I'm going to do my best here. On Thursday, March 6th, approximately 1:30 p.m., I noticed an individual on the sidewalk covered head to toe in a white hoodie, white coat, camo pants, black and white shoes with a neck gaiter type face covering that looked to be recording the bank and cars in the drive-thru. I called the non-emergency line for the Lake Ozark Police to report the individual. I was asked to describe the person, and a patrol car would be there soon. About 5 minutes later, I looked back out the window, and a patrol car had arrived. The officer stepped out and approached the hooded individual who was not filming the officer. They spoke for a few minutes. Then the officer was starting to walk back to the patrol car, and then he changed direction, walked up to the hooded individual, and began what looked like an arrest. The individual was taken to the rear, blah, blah, blah. She just lays out what happened. Okay, first of all, Tabitha, stop calling the cops for people that aren't doing anything illegal. You cause this whole nonsense. This is your fault. This looks like it has the narrative, so let's check that out. Whatever that guy's fucking name was, the cop. Oh, here it is, right here. Officer Winker. Officer Winker was dispatched to Central Bank for a report of a suspicious person. Now we know that the whole reason he was there was a report of a suspicious person, which, what's illegal about that? There's nothing. If that's the only reason he was there, I highly doubt that he had enough facts to justify a detention. So while in transit, it was reported by dispatch that an unidentified subject was standing on the sidewalk. So this is stuff he knew before he even got there. Filming the bank as well as filming filming vehicles in the parking lot. Upon arrival, I observed an unidentified object or subject wearing what he said. Okay, yeah, you matched the description. Once I was closer, I was able to determine race. Their gender was still unidentified. Okay. Why is identifying their gender so important in the narrative report? You have all their information. Jesus. The subject asked why he had his gloves on. We saw all this, but let's look for his justification. Due to the subject failing to comply with a lawful order to vacate the area, like what qualifies that word right there? What out of this qualifies that? In my opinion, he said the exact, like even this report says that he was standing on a sidewalk filming the bank. That's what he knew. And that's what he considered to be the suspicious person. And that's what he considers justification for a lawful order. Due to the subject not complying, I placed him in handcuffs. This is not non-compliance. This is called doing legal things that cops can't make you stop doing. This report's ridiculous. At the time of the subject's release, I still did not know his identity or any other pertinent information regarding him. The subject was detained so I could further investigate. What did you need to investigate? Nonsense. He really fucked himself with that report. I wish that guy would file a lawsuit because he would definitely have some Fourth Amendment claim, probably a First Amendment claim as well. Let me just say a few things about this interaction. And if you guys could give me a like, that would be sincerely appreciated. When he approached this guy, at the very beginning, look where he's at. Look what he's doing. Now, this is not illegal. And there's nothing about what he's doing that would say it's illegal or that there's any criminal element to this behavior. Now, it does get a little difficult when you're filming a bank because a lot of people make the argument that under the Terry case, filming a bank could be considered suspicious, because in the Terry case, it was about people casing a jewelry store with the intention of robbing it, or at least that was the suspicion of the officer. And that's why people say that reasonable suspicion is such a low bar. In this case, he's clearly exercising a First Amendment right. And they, not only that, but they also have this knowledge about who he is and what he does that they can apply to this situation. I mean, at least Officer Wolf and the sergeant that arrived both knew who he was and what he did. And they let this cop right here know it as well. So that's another thing to consider, is that they did have context to know this guy. But overall, I think he did a really good job. He didn't curse. He didn't do anything physical. He didn't resist arrest. He didn't obey the unlawful commands of the officer, which was really the precipice for him being put in handcuffs. So overall, I think he did a great job. The only thing I would say is, like, I would like to see him file a lawsuit following this up. Donald says the detective and Terry watched them for 20 minutes and they got reasonable suspicion in 20 seconds. Yeah, that's a very good distinction. Yeah, he did actually conduct an investigation in the Terry case. Escuffer says you can criminalize any behavior if you want to twist it far enough. I agree with that. But that's, a lot of people have this personal philosophy that we are over-policed and over-regulated as a country, which I think is a legitimate critique of how the system is working. Electric says, this is why filming banks is iffy. Completely legal for sure, but the bank employees don't know constitutional laws either. You're going to get a cop called on you. I agree with that. It's very hard to include private citizens in your audit without them calling the cops on you at some point. But that's why I discourage it. I just don't think it's a good idea to include private citizens. I think that you lose more than you gain. It's not worth it. It's just not. People get so pissed off about being recorded without their consent that I'll just say there's better ways to educate the public at large about their First Amendment rights than sticking a camera in their face without their permission. Jack says, it's so frustrating that cops just do not get why we don't want to give our ID. We don't want our info in their system, and we don't have to give our info at all or talk to the violent assholes. Yeah, and to go to the broader picture, we should not be comfortable living in a society where cops believe that they have that power, that they can just ID you whenever they want just because they want to.